About the long and short of it. I see, that's dire news indeed. Complicates matters greatly. I must admit it's quite shocking. I never would have believed we'd encounter Commander Trover's killer within these walls. Damn it all. The enemy was right in front of us and we can't believe we let them go. We did all we could, Roy, and we're not finished yet. What you're saying, it sounds like Zevaperson is a very powerful sorceress. Counting the leader she mentioned, this so-called Clawman, we've seen be up to 5 people here. But who are they? I'm not sure, but they took Lady Fina, and right now that's all we need to know. Getting her back is priority number 1. And the whole world is changing around us. Father Spirit, what is it? I've been hesitant to speak of this. Given what transpired, I feel information must be divulged now, as it may prove pertinent to these proceedings. I don't like the sound of this. What is it, Father? Please listen closely. When Lady Rhea and Fina disappeared, Black Pearl vanished along with them. It no longer sits upon its pedestal in Solomon's Shrine. What? No, that can't be true. I'm afraid it is. The 6th priest pulled me aside and quietly informed me of its absence. I was told to exercise discretion when sharing this, so not to create further panic, but the circumstances as they are, I don't even know what to say. It does raise a question, however. Black Pearl is the source of all magic. How is it we're still able to use magic in its absence? Oh, that's a good question. Isn't the pearls what lifted Solomon's Shrine in the sky too? Like staying there without a source of power? Black Pearl can transcend space. As long as it remains undamaged, the energy will continue to flow unabated. Real issue is that only the goddess could have taken it from its chamber in the shrine. None but they have the ability to control it. The power is beyond even the 6th priest. Ergo, the goddess must have brought it with them when they descended to the surface. Not even the priest can surmise what will become of it down here. It's all just too much. It does tell us one thing, though. Lady Fina obviously didn't have the Black Pearl, so that means she's likely in Lady Rhea's possession. A good point. Indeed, and it's precisely why I felt it necessary to break my silence. I must certainly rescue Lady Fina from our foes. Fighting Lady Rhea and the Black Pearl is of equal or greater importance. I shudder to think what could happen should a powerful object fall into the enemy's hand. No kidding. While searching, please try to gather as much information you can regarding the nature of the goddess struggle. I fear our troubles may run deeper than any of us possibly could fathom. Rhea and Fina must have their reason for stealing away here with the Black Pearl in tow, after all. Understood. You can count on the Holy Knights. We will assist. And Sorcerer will focus efforts on the upper level of the towers. You wish to stay behind? Guess you finally start realizing how reckless you've been. Yeah, I have. I heard that the man killed my dad had lost control of myself. Came here to protect the goddesses. Instead, I protected them. Lady Fina covered for me, and I got herself captured. Not the sort of thing that should happen to a holy knight. I'm not ready. I'm not qualified to be here. What do you think of Commander? I think she's overstating things. She's in poor spirits nonetheless. We couldn't send her into combat like this. Indeed, the mood can only work to her detriment. She should stay here and rest while regain her composure. You remain on standby here at the base. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. First, we learn our enemy can control demons, and they kidnap Lady Fina. Now turns the Black Pearl is missing from Solomon's Shrine. Things have gone bad to worse. When the goddess have taken the Black Pearl, I can't even imagine the sort of situation would be so dire to warrant such a bizarrely destructive behavior. The only thing I can be for sure, believe Lady Rhea and Fina with all my heart, and I'll do everything in my power to help them. Something the matter? Oh, sorry, it's nothing really. Makes you feel any better, I have doubts as well. I serve as caretaker to our ladies, yet never once did I see this coming. Cannot help but think if I had more power or greater insight, I might be able to prevent all this. Just as you and Rico are always compared to your grandfathers, I too feel that I can never live up to what is expected of me. I know you must feel defeated, but believe me when I tell you the time does really heal all wounds. For now, I would suggest putting all the what-ifs and conjecture from your mind and simply rest. Give yourself that time. Yes, Father. Like an open book, I guess. I'm so embarrassing. Hey there, Unica. Hi, Dino. Glad to see you made it back from the tower in one piece. Glad to be back. Quite unpleasant out there. My scouting work done, I finally have time to join the search. Aren't there still missing sorcerer, the one from House Fact? Me and Hugo already begun searching the tower on his own. He has. Indeed, he is an interesting individual, a magic prodigy to be sure, but he is more than just that. He said that he could handle things here by himself. When he has set his mind on something, well, no, there's no stopping him. Okay, maybe if he were there instead of me, Lady Fina wouldn't be in this one. At any rate, with every member of the search party accounted for, I am free to participate myself. Wish me luck. Good luck then. What am I even doing here? I'm way out of my league and I'm holding everyone else back. I don't know why I ever could have thought to help protect the goddess when I can't even use magic. Lady Fina would be ashamed of me. Rhea, you're back. Fina, what happened? I heard you were sent away the nights that came to investigate. Yes, well, there's no need for them anymore. Yeah, I caught the trespasser myself. Did? Quite a feat, wouldn't you say? Alright, there's no need to hide. Come out, face the music. Hi. Well, wow. You're the cutest little trespasser I've ever seen. What's your name? Unica Trova. Trova? Yeah, she came here with her grandfather, but apparently got separated. Fortunately, she was lucky enough to wander all the way into our little sanctuary. Ah, I see. I'm sorry, goddesses. There were knights everywhere. I just got scared, so You're quite alright, Unica. We're glad to have you as our guest. Huh? Fina, would you please prepare her some tea? Oh, of course. We always show hospitality to our guests, especially little ones. Training with your father? Why would a sweet thing like you choose to train in combat? Can't use magic, so I'll never be able to take over Grandpa's position. My only real talent is that I'm pretty strong like my dad. I want to become a holy knight and devote myself to serving you two. Well. Unica? Is that a problem? Well, at least you become a knight, you wouldn't need to sneak in here anymore. Certainly make it easier for us to meet with our little best friend. You'd be able to succeed your father too, also good. Oh, Rhea. Come now, Fina, you know that I'm just excited about this as I am. Of course, just a very big step to take is all. But spending time with Unica is one of the few things I truly look forward to each day, so I couldn't be happier. Really? I'm glad you approve. But you must promise us, Unica. Promise us you will follow through with your training, become a holy knight, and that you'll protect us with all your heart. Yes, Sir, Unica Trova. It has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? I promise I will become a holy knight and protect you both. I don't know if I'll be as good as my dad, but I'll do my best. Unica Trova, right? Commander, I beg you. Reconsider your decision. I'll do anything I can to help. Asking again isn't going to change my decision. No guarantee of survival for those going to the service, and you're only just begun your apprenticeship. You are simply not ready. If anything should happen to you in your care, how could I ever face your family again? don't think I could take much more of this. Pardon? I know I'm being pushy, but I know I'm being totally unreasonable, but my dad and the goddess left Solomon Shrine without a word to anyone. I'm just tired of being left behind. Well, I suppose we're like-minded then. Commander? Nothing. Unica, the conditions on the surface are quite extreme and frankly rather disturbing. Be prepared to conduct yourself in a manner befitting of a knight, even face off horrors unlike you've seen before. Hey, Unica. Roy. I wanted to talk to you. Got a second? Sure, what is it? Well, you know how much I hate hot places, right? Yeah. Even just being near lava makes me feel like I'm gonna melt right out of my armor. Now, Celia, she doesn't even break a sweat. That's a whole nother story. Roy, I'm really not. Just hear me out, okay? I figured I tried to brave those fiery depth floors anyways. Well, I wasn't there very long, but I did see something interesting. You never guess what. How would I know? Just tell me. Two-handed greatsword with a crimson blade, displayed prominently on some kind of altar. Wait, a crimson blade? Are you trying to tell me? Yep, we've both seen it a million times, there's no mistaking it. It was definitely your father's crimson lotus blade. What my dad would sword be doing in a pedestal in the tower. Absolutely no idea. I got a call right back after I saw it, so I didn't examine it in any great detail, but I definitely know what I saw. Planning on going back there to get it right now. But I wasn't sure how you'd feel about that. I'm just apprentice, how could I? Cut the crap. Don't be such a drama queen. You made it halfway up the tower, absolutely no backup. Nobody ever said you weren't qualified to be here, but you. You stop moaning and do what you do best. Hit things really hard and stumble your way into success. Hit things and... But I guess if you show up to claim the sword in that funk you're in, it'll sap all the power anyways. Probably best if I go get it myself. Your father wouldn't want to see you like this. Wait. What is it? I thought we were done talking. To be honest, I don't have a whole lot of self-confidence right now. I still want to be the one who takes my dad's sword. I mean, I'm his daughter. Man, you're easy. I played you like a deck of cards. But I knew you'd come through. Scratch the head like a little kid. Cut it out. Stop treating me like a kid. Well, in case you're wondering, I got the okay from Commander Gillian on this. You're totally good to go. Thanks. Be careful. The demons farther up the tower are pretty strong. Don't let your guard down. I know, geez. See you later, Uni. Alright. Excuse me. So, one of the things I wanted to mention that I didn't really have an opportunity to do that is the game does sort of, and I may have mentioned this before, change based on who your main character is. So, for instance, Unica mentions that if Hugo had been in her position, he wouldn't have failed. Well, basically the storyline sort of with Unica and Hugo unfold in, they're not identical, but they're similar ways. So, you know, both in Hugo's story, which we'll get to, and this one, she gets captured. Well, at least one of the goddesses. I don't know if they flip the goddess names between the two storylines, but the goddess gets captured there, and you're given the silver harmonica. But what we're going to do is we're going to go claim our dad's sword, which is just a little bit farther up here. Up the road, if you will. But you know, the storyline faces whoever your main character as the protagonist. So you'll see Hugo pop up a couple times in Unica's version of the story, but he's sort of like a background character, and you don't really get all that much information regarding the Clawman when you're playing as Unica, because he's more prominent in Hugo's campaign, which we'll get to the reason why that is when we get to Hugo's campaign. But that is the reason why he'll pop up a whole bunch. You'll like when we bumped into Musica, and later on we'll bump into both him and Hugo. But he's not a character that we fight at any point in Unica's campaign. He just sort of appears randomly for what seems like no reason. And he plays, like I said, a bigger role in Hugo's story. Whereas this plays a much lower role. Velstrova's fire imbued greatsword. Roy was right. The Crimson Loden blade for sure. Thought you might have come. Huh. Dad. Unica, it's been far too long and I've missed you so much. Perhaps the providence of the goddess that allows me to speak with you. Is it really you? Just some message or something, is it? No, it is I. I know my passing has caused you much pain and suffering. You're a real jerk, Dad. Why'd you have to run off by yourself? Why didn't you say a word to me or Grandpa? Why'd you have to go die? Sorry, Unica. A man named Kestrel challenged me to numerous duels after a time. My strength faded. There's no shame in it. He was an opponent worthy of the Holy Knights. My only regret was I would never see you again. I'm a soldier, Unica, warrior of the goddess, and I did what needed to be done to ensure the safety of Ys. I just wish I could see what awaits you in the future. If only I could hold on just one last time. I'm a knight now, you know, just an apprentice, though. It brings me great pride to hear that, Unica. I'm sorry I wasn't there to celebrate your induction. Well, there wasn't much of a celebration. I lost sight of my goals and wound up fighting the man who killed you. I worked so hard to become a knight so I could protect Lady Rhea and Ina, but I hate what I've become. Oh? So you no longer wish to protect the goddesses, then? Not what I meant. It's just my fault that Lady Fina was captured, and I brought some of the shame to the Holy Knights East. That's two sides of conflict within you. One that's inexperienced, vulnerable, and afraid, and another that seeks to right her wrongs and protect the goddess at all costs. Conflict provides you are much stronger than you know, Unica. You must face your weakness. Face my weakness? You're a descendant of holy priests, yet you cannot use magic. In spite of all that, you've grown into a fine young lady. You will soon realize that you are capable of accomplishing anything at all. It seems that my time is up. You still have much to say. Take my sword, Unica. Despite your doubts, I see you are a fine heir to the Trova name. Try to take comfort in knowing that the goddess and the future of Ys are safe in your hand. Be well, my dearest. Dad, no. I have to face my weakness. Why does everyone have to lecture me? But he said I should take care. Crimson Lotus Blade. A surge of power burst forth within the artifact. Unica was granted the Phoenix Flame skill. So this is a sword alt to her axe. So when I wield the firepower, it'll change the axe into the great sword that her father wields. and then if I can press the magic button, it'll shoot a flaming phoenix, or I can charge it and it'll produce a larger sweeping phoenix. See here in a second. There's the magic attack, and I can do that multiple times, where I can charge it up and shoot a big one. Alright, so that should be the plot for right now anyways. Finish up some plot threads before we continue on. So the plot differs based on who your main character is, because certain aspects like getting the Crimson Lotus Blade is required, because you have to end up with a wind magic, an electric magic, and a fire magic. And these are the artifacts by which you get them. So obviously if Hugo claims the Great Sword, that means Yunica doesn't end up getting it, or at least she doesn't get it right away. She might get it in some sort of, off, whatever you want to call it, side storyline after the fact. But in doing so, we get kind of a better storyline when you sort of take both Yunica and Hugo's stories sort of in tandem with each other. You get a better idea of what exactly is going on, even though in terms of, Yunica is the Sorcerer's Guild, if you will. The Sorcerer group is sort of playing like second fiddle to the Holy Knight storyline. When we play Hugo's campaign, the Holy Knights are going to play second fiddle to the Sorcerer's storyline. So we're going to get slightly different dialogue, but a lot of the gameplay is still the same. You're still going to end up in this room, and you're still going to need to get the fire magic, though it may be different. I don't remember right off the top of my head how different their magics are based on who has it. Like I said, it's going to be a little different between the different playthroughs. We're going to fight bosses in a slightly different order, and things in the storyline are going to happen differently. So I'm just sort of trying to prep that, just because we're going to play all the way through Unica's campaign first doesn't mean that, well, now that we've done Unica's campaign, we can just skip all the cutscenes because they're all going to be the same with this Hugo. No, I mean, the game kind of, like I said, it creates a situation where Hugo is now your main character, and he's making all of the decisions, and like I said, you're following the sorcerers instead of the knight. And it also has one other kind of big thing that will affect the ending of the game, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So I gotta get back over there. I gotta jump, get closer because my flame only goes so far. Unfortunately, my button's set up on my controller, which I'm using the default setup. I'm not using any sort of different keybinds, at least on this playthrough anyways. doesn't really allow for me to hold a button to charge while jumping, because they're, I'm essentially operating on a Xbox controller where the X, A, and B buttons are my different attack, magic, and jump. Because they're so close together, it's hard to reach across and do a jump when I'm trying to hold down the magic button, which can be easily changed. I just have to change it to one of the triggers, and then I can hold the magic button. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave the button set up as is. One other thing I'll mention before we get too far in here is, in an early episode I mentioned like how the first platforming thing that you do is the most difficult platforming thing. That is a lie. That is a big lie. That is a lie. That is like the superest, biggest lie I've told in the longest time. I completely forgot how a number of different platforming things until I got much later in this game. There are easily like 4 or 5 areas that are much more difficult platforming wise than that first one. It's just a matter of getting an idea of how the wind magic operates with floating, So once you get used to it, the later platforming is more difficult, but it's not as challenging. As you may remember, this is the area right before we're going to go into a cursed music area. So that's a little bit up the road from here. But also, if you look to the left, they reused an asset. You're going to see this asset reused here in a second. But this is them just reusing this left, I don't know what you call that, big circle lava pit cauldron. They're going to use it over here on the right-hand side as well. Right here. So, just like I said, they just kind of reuse this asset right here to fill in the background to the left. If I haven't mentioned already, the gems make my magic more powerful, allows them to do more damage. I believe they also charge a little faster. Just kind of wanted to take a look to see if there was anything else I missed here. Ultimately cost me my life here. Because I took excess damage here, and now I'm going to fight these guys that I'm not prepared for and die.